Lies of P is an upcoming indie Souls-like that brings a new, horrifying twist to the classic Pinocchio story. Taking heavy inspiration from Bloodborne in its level design, art style, and combat system, it's a must-play for any Souls fans and one of my most anticipated releases for 2023. The demo was short, but it was a good window into the overall quality of the game that I anticipate. In this video, I'm going to cover all the most important aspects of Lies of P to give you an idea if this is a game you'll want to try for yourself. In Lies of P, you play as Pinocchio, Geppetto's most advanced puppet in the city of Krat, which has been overrun by puppets gone mad. The initial story covered in the demo is just our quest to find Geppetto, as the remaining survivors think he's the only one capable of fixing the puppet frenzy, though when you find Geppetto, it's clear that at least one faction of survivors blames Geppetto for the frenzy. What makes Pinocchio special to the Geppetto faction is his ability to lie, breaking one of the major laws of puppets, and establishes the duality of Pinocchio's human and puppet nature common in the Pinocchio tale. Every time you do decide to lie, you get this "your gears are reacting" message on screen indicating that the full release will show us the consequences of Pinocchio choosing to lie. Given the horrific tone of the setting, I imagine this is not a simple good or bad morality system. The Pinocchio story is a classic to adapt, exploring the question of what exactly it means to be human and whether that's a goal that's even worth striving for, and I'm looking forward to how the developer puts their own twist on it. The most apparent inspiration from Bloodborne is the setting's aesthetic and level design. The city of Krat is gothic, semi-steampunk, and brutal. You can see in the small details the amount of carnage the city has experienced due to the puppet frenzy, similar to the beast hunts taking place in Yharnam. The environmental storytelling is definitely there and doing its job well, making you feel like you're coming in after the worst of the frenzy. The hotel is a nice hub, the bright lighting and calm atmosphere contrasting well with the rest of the world. There are friendly NPCs here as well, and I'm excited to see how all of them fit into the rest of the story going forward. The combat system is an interesting blend of Bloodborne's highly aggressive style and Sekiro's parry and stagger system. Dodge rolling seems to be discouraged for the most part, as on the larger elite enemies and bosses, their resistances are so high that normal damage barely scratches them. If you parry enough, though, and build their invisible posture bar, they will get a status effect called Groggy. Hitting a charged heavy attack in this state will fully stagger the enemy, opening them up to a critical hit. This is a really engaging combat loop for larger enemies and bosses, encouraging aggression and risky plays that pay off in a very satisfying way. It lacks the speed and the flair of a game like Sekiro, but it fits the more brutal atmosphere of Krat, and it's a commendable achievement for the developers regardless. If I had one major piece of feedback though, I'd just say to get rid of the small dash when locked on in favor of the full roll, or allow a double tap of the dodge button to give the full roll. For some attacks that I had a hard time getting a parry off on, I ended up unlocking from the boss or elite just to get that full roll, and I wish there was a less roundabout way to do it, though I eventually just got used to the shorter dash anyways. I think that the most interesting twist that the demo showed us is the ability to mix and match your handles and blades, and how that changes the weapon. The handles determine the moveset of the weapon and the defensive Fable Arts, and the blade carries all the upgrades and offensive Fable Arts. And Fable Arts are basically Ashes of War from Elden Ring, and holding 2 on your weapon setup should provide some exciting combat. I didn't play too much around with this, but I did notice that there's no resource cost or penalty for disassembling and reassembling your weapons, which is a nice quality of life touch. It encourages the experimentation that I'm sure was the original intention with this system. I see a lot of potential for build diversity going into the full release. Simply put, this game has a lot of potential in my eyes. It's got great art direction, good systems, fluid level design, and an interesting story so far. I'm confident that the full release of the game is only going to build upon the systems that I've already seen in the demo, and it's nice to see more developers take on the gothic Bloodborne aesthetic. The one thing that I think will really elevate this game is if we get a ton of difficult-to-decipher lore documents placed around the world, and some more of these man-made horrors beyond our comprehension, just like this boss. If you haven't played the demo at all and are interested, I think you should give it a shot. I think this is definitely going to be a great addition to the fall release lineup and something that I'll be picking up on release. Thanks for watching.